What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my demand. Like and subscribe. So, couple of quick things real quick. Metaphor Refantasio sold 1 million in one day. Good job. Is that because Microsoft is better at marketing than PlayStation? Because a game like Final Fantasy Rebirth, did they sell 1 million in one day? I don't even know, but totally they sold like 2 million so far or something like that. That's not a lot for a game like that, game of that caliber. Nah. So I don't know what it is. Maybe Xbox gamers buy more games. That might be it. I don't know. There's evidence that would support that theory. Just look at the game sales on PlayStation and you can say, hey, well, why you have 60 million? Why aren't you selling more? Anyway, what I want to talk about really is I just watched a video about, it's Alex. Alex was smacking Puerto Rock up and down the internet. And so I was like, okay. Yeah, I was listening to what he was saying. And Alex is PC. He's PC. And he'll go after anybody. And that's cool. So it's all fair. But he's been going after Ponies and Donkey Unicorns recently more so because they're idiots. Puerto Rock, I'm not going to say he's dumb because he's not dumb. He's not dumb. He's not a dumb individual. But I would say his stance on the whole PC and PC gamers are afraid of PlayStation Pro and all, that's just ill-advised or something like that. It's not a good look because it's just not true. And the other part of it is he didn't sound like he knew what he was talking about. He was just kind of trying to put together some type of narrative that supports PlayStation Pro being a threat, I guess, to PC gamers, which of course is not true. It can't be true. As much as you want it to be, it's impossible, right? Anyway, so I'm not PC master racist or anything like that. I like consoles because they're easy. You put it on. Most people who like consoles like it because they're lazy and they don't want to build this. Now, I do want to build a PC, obviously, because I like building stuff. I like taking stuff apart. I'm going to do that on my own time when I get the right setup. Because I definitely probably gonna, by the time I get to building a PC, I'll probably get a 5090. And I have to get the 9 series of cards because I do more than just play games. And I would probably try some games out on PC, but my main gaming device is the console, Xbox Series X. And so that'll always be the case for me. I use PCs for different things. I don't use it for gaming. I think I played one of the Call of Duties like on a demo one time in the store, and I was like, yo, this is smooth. And this was years ago, so I was like, yeah, I get it. I understand it. And maybe I will, but anyway. The notion that the PlayStation 5 Pro, is comparable to anything on the upper echelons of a PC threshold, if you will, is ridiculous. It's asinine. It's like you don't know what you're when you say stuff like, oh, it's better than a 4090. My friend has one and he said, Bob. I was like, come on, son. Even Puerto Rock said, no, that's not it. That's not it. And then, D-Batch is like, oh, it's a 4070. AOA. He's Canadian, so you know how they talk. And I'm like, is it though? And then Rich came back and was like, nah, it's not really. It's kind of not a 4070. It's like, so he had to walk back. Your boy Digital Foundry had to walk back his statement. So it's making the PS5 Pro look less and less every day, right? So I'm like, okay, well, PS5 Pro, the main problem, and I'm saying this, I said this before, I'm saying it again, the main problem with the PS5 Pro is the price. That's it and that's all, because they're pricing it like it's something that it isn't. Now you say, oh, it's too much money, but yes, it is too much money. For what it is, it's too much money. Like as far as public perception-wise, how this looks, it's too much money. Because how much is a PlayStation? A PlayStation 5 should not be over $500. So let's just say $499 with a disc drive, right? PlayStation 5 Pro, if it was 1 terabyte with a disc drive, it should be $599. That's it. That's it. Because all they did was put some more CUs on the APU for the graphics and stuff. That's it. They didn't do anything else. They said, oh, it's 10% faster on the CPU. No. You clicked up a number that could possibly get 10% faster, but it doesn't. It's not guaranteed, and people don't realize that, or people just ignore it, because there's the console war. They want to say all the positive things about their box and all that stuff, and I'm like, so that 10% boot, that means nothing to anyone. Even Digital Foundry and the devs are like, yeah, we can't. What are we gonna do with that? That's nothing. That's what's the point? What was the even point of doing that? So yeah, and the whole thing that Porter Rock was trying to talk about was like exclusivity and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, you guys, I understand the fanboy sentiment of having exclusives for your console because it's console versus console. But the mistake that Ponies and Donkey Unicorns are doing right now is that they are going up against PC. You can't go up against PC. PC is PC. There's no competition when you talk about PC versus console because PC always wins. And so them trying to posit a PlayStation 5 Pro or whatever to be better than PC is non-existent because it has been non-existent since, when was it? I'm going to say probably around the PS2, PS1, PS2, Xbox era, when games like, actually is Xbox, the OG Xbox is literally a PC. They took off the shelf parts and made a box. So that's the closest thing. So that war, that console war, if you want to even call it that, PC won that years ago. It used to be like you get a Genesis, and Genesis would destroy PC because PC wasn't really looked at as a gaming apparatus, a gaming machine. It was just like, you do your and people would code on it, and you do programs or whatever. Other than that, there wasn't too many games on PC. You know what I mean? So it's like that whole comparison is just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. And him just he's calling these PC gamers names and stuff, and I'm like, how are you sitting there trying to defend the PlayStation 5 Pro? You look at what it is, right? And basically, I mean, dude, 864p, really? That's what you're defending? It's like, doesn't the Xbox Series S do better than that? I mean, come on. So how are you sitting here defending that? And that's how you get 4K 60. 4K. It's not 4K. It's not 4. It's probably maybe it's 1440p. I don't know, but it's just ridiculous. And I'm like, come on, man. It's like, look, even Alex said it in his video. Even your brother knows, and he went PC, and he realizes. And if I want the best experience, I definitely go PC. And if I was like heavy into like streaming games and stuff like that, I would definitely go to PC. I would have the consoles too, just let's play it on console, just so we can be lazy or whatever, or we can do some comparison videos and stuff like that. But no, you do PC is it. That's it. And I think going forward, they're gonna be different. I don't want to say form factors, but a different variety of PCs. And I think Xbox is kind of dipping their toes into it, because if they do what I think they're going to do, then it's going to be kind of a whole nother market where they were talking about a hybrid console, but I think the hybrid part of it is more about PC and console versus what the Switch is, which is handheld and home console. And so I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, if they figure out a way to make a console that runs PC games, so they don't have to make console versions of their games anymore, you just have to make one PC version and then, of course, scale it. So you say, low, mid, high, right? Then that cuts out a whole giant section of development costs that they don't have to worry about. Sony is not thinking about that. Sony is so ass backwards right now because they need to save money because they've wasted hundreds of millions of dollars the last year or 2 or 3 or 4. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, y'all should be figuring this out, because if you're gonna stick to, oh, we want to sell consoles. That's all we want to do. Sell consoles. Y'all are gonna lose, because if you ain't Nintendo got it on lock. Nintendo's gonna stay the course, and people are buying it because it's Nintendo. They got the IP, and their business model works because they can do little cartridges. They don't cost that much because they're little itty bitty. Boom, it's all the same. I mean, yes, they have a digital storefront as well, but it's better for them how they're doing it. And Sony is like in the worst position out of all three, out of Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Sony's in the worst position because they're stuck in the past. They're not changing. They're not doing, like I said, Nintendo's doing what they're doing. It's working for them, right? People are buying the console. People are buying the games. Microsoft is making moves, changing, putting out new hardware and all this stuff. And it's working for them because they have all these IPs. They have all of these different revenue income sources that they're good. Sony is reliant on console sales. They have PS Plus, but that makes them money. Sure, that wasn't their idea. They had to bite off of Microsoft. And the whole notion that PlayStation is like the only console, like there's no competition. That right there is a fatal flaw in the thinking of Sony and PlayStation, and also the thinking of the donkey unicorns and the ponies. Because Microsoft has literally said, "Yo, we gonna make a console. We make a new console. We got a new console hardware coming out." How? Explain this to me. I know what they're gonna say, but explain it to me. How is it that Xbox isn't competition, but they're putting out a competitive product? They're putting out a new console, the next gen. They're beating you to the next gen, which is what they did in the 360, and they beat your ass that generation. No matter what era I say, I explained why that it went down the way it went down. But it's about minds. It's about hearts and minds. And the devs. And so, how is Xbox not competition if they're still in the market and they're still creating hardware? I would say if Microsoft said, yeah, we're not doing the hardware no more, that's it, that's all, boom, 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 then it's like, okay, fine. Sony won the console war. Because they're the only, not the only, but they're the only product in that class or whatever. And I would say, okay, but, how long can you sustain that? Because if you could play Xbox games wherever you want to play it, and that's the thing. I don't think Microsoft will ever leave the hardware business because it'll shrink. They'll shrink whatever they're producing because they have other places where their games can be played. And so it doesn't matter about how many hardware consoles they sell. It matters how many games they sell and how many people are playing their games. You ain't got no games, doesn't matter what your console is, nobody's playing it. So it's not a chicken and egg thing, but it is a means to an end. Consoles were a means to sell units of games. That's what it was. That's what the original market or the original business model was back in the NES, Atari, 20, all the way back. Any console, you buy the console to buy the games. Sega Master System, all that. It flipped when these services come out. It flipped when Game Pass came out, basically. Game Pass changed the game. And Sony's never been able to catch up, and they're still lagging behind. And they're lagging behind on so many different things that they can't, they're scrambling to try to catch up, and they're failing at their scramble. I can see if they were scrambling to catch up, they had to spend all this money, and they were making moves, they're not making, they're going backwards. Concord, biggest failure in video game history. I gotta say it every time. Listen, it's amazing to me that like a content creator like Porter Rock could come out here and say this stuff. And I know part of it is that he needs to placate his audience, the ponies and the donkey unicorns. I know that. But at some point, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I grifting now? Am I a grifter? Am I a griftcast boy? Griftcast boy. Wow, I was going to say griftcast guy, which is more illiterate. But illiterate, not illiterate. Right? That's how you spell it? Doesn't matter. But he's not looking too intelligent right now. And I hope most or more gamers of his age would just kind of, be real and come to the realization that Sony is going to do exactly what Microsoft is doing. They're going to wait until, it's just like, whatever, accept it or whatever. They went PC day and date. They've done like 4, like Alex, he explained it. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize it was like, it's a Horizon Lego, day and date PC. Helldivers 2, day and date PC. And there was 2 other games. It was the God of War, not God of War. What game? Oh, it was the Horizon Zero Dawn remake, day and date PC. And something else. And so I'm like, they're already doing it. MLB. MLB is another thing, right? Here's the thing I wanted to say. This is the last thing. If Sony didn't want MLB to be on Game Pass on Xbox, they didn't have to do it. Sony wasn't forced to do anything. Because what they could have done is said, no, we believe in exclusives. This game is our exclusive. We don't want it. MLB is like, but we own it, so you have to do what we say. And then Sony could have said, well, we're not making a game. Take your game, take the license, and bye-bye. We gonna our MLB studio. I forgot what the studio's name. We gonna make something else. Or Sony could have said, we just want to license it from you, and we'll make our own game, and then we're not putting it on. And they'll have to pay more, obviously, and get less. But whatever. And that's up to MLB to take that deal or not, right? The point is that Sony wasn't forced to put MLB on Xbox. On Game Pass, day one. That's the antithesis. There's the antithesis of everything these donkey unicorns and ponies are talking about. As far as exclusives go and all that stuff. So, they had options. But what did they do? They said, okay, we'll do it, sure. And you know what? This is what I think happened, right? MLB said, yo, you're going to put it on Xbox. And Sony didn't resist. PlayStation said, okay. And why they said okay? It's because they wanted to see how much money they could make by putting their games on Xbox without looking like they're putting their games on Xbox. You see what I'm saying? They go, hey, we were forced. We couldn't do anything about it. We were forced. That's why. Meanwhile, they get the metrics of a game they made, first-party studios, on the competition. They were first. I mean, like Minecraft and all that stuff, that was already multi-plat, so it wasn't like exclusive first and then it came. No. PlayStation was first to do that. PlayStation was first to be third-party. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that because they don't want to lose or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's what I think happened. They were forced, but they went along with it because they wanted to see. And they see. And they still, I think they want to put more games on Xbox because it's money. It's money that they need. So more games are going to be day on PC, period, because it's money. It's money that they need. You don't think Marathon's gonna be day and date? Marathon's going to be day and date on Xbox too. That's first party. If this was the old Sony, they wouldn't have done that. That's like, nope, it's us. It's exclusive. They created that whole notion, and now it's kicking them in the ass because they ain't making no money. Anyway. Appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about PlayStation being a real third party. These donkey unicorns and ponies talking shit to the PC gamers. They pick a battle that they cannot win. They can't win it. What do you think about Porter Rock? You think he's got all his marbles shiny up on there? I don't know, man. I think he's losing. I think he's drinking the Kool-Aid too hard. His Kool-Aid is tainted. But anyway, like I said, I appreciate me up. And I can take you out on the next one too. Wait.